police investigate a complaint and its connection to city councillors.
I'm fully complying. I have nothing to hide.
Who else is involved in this probe? Deep fakes and intimate images.
People who threaten to share, because that, again, is a threat that hangs over someone.
Alberta's plan to protect victims. And they own a home, but they're still struggling.
About 1 in 6 even considered selling their own homes due to their financial need.
Alberta seniors worried about paying the bills.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jordan Canigan.
Hello and thanks for joining us. At least one city councillor and a former councillor are connected to an RCMP investigation. As part of the probe, the Mounties executing a search warrant at councillor Andre Chabot's home last week and former councillor Sean Chew's property. However, it remains unclear what the investigation is about and who else is involved. Tyson Fedor reports.
As Ward 10 councillor Andre Chabot left council chambers for lunch Tuesday, he was asked about why RCMP seized his work and personal cell phones.
I have no idea what the investigation's about. I had no idea why they had to do a warrant. I was more than happy to have given them my phones if they had just asked.
But instead of asking, Mounties showed up to his home executing a search warrant last Thursday. It's all part of an investigation being conducted by the RCMP's Federal Policing Northwest Region Department. But it's unclear what it's all about. One criminologist says the RCMP must have reasonable grounds that a criminal code infraction took place.
It can't be a fishing expedition, can't be suspicion. It has to be based on some kind of information that the police are going to be doing a search to confirm.
Chabot's lawyer says he does not know what the focus of the case is.
Until I see facts, there's nothing I'm going to say or can say. For anyone in politics, something like this is a concern, but he's cooperating and he has nothing to hide.
Calgary police will say it received a complaint in October of last year during the municipal election campaign and referred the file to RCMP, but Mounties did not answer questions about the probe or what the search warrant contained.
A search warrant can lead to nothing. A search warrant can lead to something, but a search warrant can also lead to the exoneration of the individual being searched.
Mayor Jeremy Farkas says he was only made aware of the investigation on Tuesday.
I've not been contacted by the police, and because this involves an ongoing investigation with potential legal implications, I have no further comment.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, that search warrant that was also executed at former councillor Sean Chew's property happened last week, according to his lawyer. The lawyer telling CTV News Chew has been cooperative and respects the legal process and is hoping for a swift conclusion to the investigation. No charges have been laid. A Calgary man has been charged with child luring along with several related sexual offenses involving 3 young girls. The 23-year-old man, who was also a girls' minor hockey coach, is facing a total of 21 charges, and police think there may be more victims. Tyler Barrow reports.
Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team's Internet Child Exploitation Unit has charged 23-year-old Malik Buccini Small with child luring, invitation to sexual touching, and extortion. The investigation began in November after 3 girls came forward.
We've conducted a complex investigation into the activities of an individual who has been identified as luring and sexually engaging with children online.
Police say 3 alleged victims from Morinville and Red Deer range in age from 7 to 15. The girls said they faced demands and threats for sexual content on social media applications. Police say multiple social media platforms and various usernames including Iggy Pop, Wakanda Forever, MJ, and 007 were used.
When you look at the challenges of everybody's usernames or their chat names, some of those that we've provided to you, it's difficult to discern from a glance as to who these people represent.
In one instance, the victim felt so threatened and in danger that she called 911 instead of going to her parents. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection says luring youth on social media platforms is not hard.
These are starting out on platforms like Instagram and Snapchat, and where their adults are really allowed to intersect with young people with no guardrails.
Since 2020, the Centre has received nearly 14,500 sextortion reports. It is advocating for better regulation and guardrails to help protect youth.
The public is becoming aware that these individuals that are harming children online can come from any walk of life.
Police say Buccini Small was involved in youth sports when he was arrested. He was listed as a girls minor hockey coach on the U18 Calgary Raiders Hockey Club website, but his name has now been removed. Hockey Calgary did not respond to our request for a comment. It's unclear if athletes were targeted, but investigators say digital evidence points to other victims. Police are asking anyone who could have been targeted by one of these names to come forward. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta is looking to expand its laws to allow people to sue for others spreading non-consensual intimate audio and deepfake content. But advocates think even more needs to be done. Jacqueline Wilson has more.
It can be hard to trust what you see online now as the line between what is artificial intelligence and what is real becomes more difficult to determine. But for victims of AI-generated intimate content, the harm is very real.
This is an assault on the very integrity of a person. This is very much a sexual assault in our eyes, and this is trauma-inducing. So this has lasting psychological impacts on people if they don't get intervention and support at the right time.
The province is looking to expand the types of content covered under its legislation to include audio recordings and deepfakes. The existing law, passed in 2017, lets victims of non-consensual sharing of intimate images sue for damages and seek injunctions to prevent further distribution. But it's limited to pictures and videos of people who are nude, partially nude, or engage in sexual activity.
Deepfake technology can be used in very harmful ways, and we want to make sure we're protecting Albertans from those abuses.
Christine Cassie has been calling on the province to make these changes for years. Still, she thinks the update needs to go even further.
We need to cover who the wrongdoers are, because it's original creators, but it's also those that may knowingly and recklessly share or amplify these images out in the public, or these voices out in the public. People who threaten to share, because that, again, is a threat that hangs over someone, and those who profit from that distribution. So we've seen that quite a bit with Pornhub, but there's other pay sites or advertisers that may benefit from this.
Cassie also wants a better process in place to take down the media and to de-index it quickly so that there's no further creation, distribution, or digital footprint that can harm the victim. And there is a growing number of victims. Since 2022, well over 100 cases are reported to Calgary police every year. In the first 2 months of this year, there's already been 29, but police believe it's heavily underreported, and they encourage victims to come forward. The province is aiming to have the update ready in the fall. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring in Jody for a first look at weather, and we're experiencing those early spring temperature swings, and that's going to continue for the next few days, isn't it?
A lot of inconsistency in the forecast for the Calgary area, and I wanted to show you how that snow is moving through BC around the supper hour, because of course too dark to see some of these cameras now, but we started to notice that snowfall in areas on the Alberta side of the border like Banff, but seeing it in through Rogers Pass on Highway 5, and initially some rain on Highway 3 near Fernie. Our 24-hour forecast will see -6 for the morning. Wind chill values around -12, and then our daytime high will be about -1 for tomorrow and staying below freezing for Thursday. A warm-up is coming in on Friday.
Thank you, Jody. The Workland Centre, formerly Arts Commons, receiving a big funding boost today towards its transformation expansion projects. A ceremony led by Blackfoot elders officially naming the future BMO Lodge. BMO donating $2 million over 10 years towards the public space. It will connect the project's 1,000-seat playhouse and 200-seat performance space. The BMO Lodge was designed with consultation from First Nation communities and reflects Indigenous lodge typologies, including teepees.
When we have our own lodges and we have our smudge in our circle, that's an environment also, because we, in our oral practice, we include natural law and all the magic beings, that we are all related. So a lodge brings us together.
The Workland Centre transformation expansion is now in its second year, and in addition to the 2 new performance venues, also includes a redesign of Olympic Plaza. Well, still to come, time is running out as a deadline nears for Alberta's deal with Ottawa. Target dates included in the Memorandum of Understanding just a week away and will likely be missed.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta and Ottawa are barreling toward the first set of deadlines included in the pipeline-centered Memorandum of Understanding signed last year. The agreement hinges on a number of conditions being met, but as Tim Brook explains, certain parts of the project are already proving to be difficult.
The deal struck between Ottawa and Edmonton included 4 deadlines that needed to be reached by April 1st, and the clock is ticking.
We are in intense discussions right now. I was talking with Premier Smith yesterday. I am confident we share a goal.
But the Premier is now saying 2 items on the to-do list may not be completed in time. Finalizing changes to industrial carbon pricing and the development of the Pathways Carbon Capture project have proved especially difficult.
We want what's right for our people. And if we get what's right for our people, we will get what's right for the farmers needed to grow their food and for the ranchers to make sure that we have a healthy beef stock.
And now a coalition of rural, Indigenous and farming communities is opposing the Pathways project. There is concern about a proposed CO2 pipeline and its environmental impact.
Live next to those oil and gas companies. They are not good neighbors.
Ahead of any development, the coalition wants Ottawa to conduct a comprehensive impact assessment.
There will be plenty of opportunities for them to consult and us to hear that this is safe.
This is not the first red flag Indigenous groups have raised with the MOU, but the province insists there is some support.
And certainly I don't want to talk about conversations that I've had with Indigenous communities that are off the record. There is support.
The business community is in favor of the move, and as war in the Middle East highlights the stability of Alberta energy, many are hoping the April 1st deadlines are the only parts of this project that are behind.
Port of Vancouver is the only safe place for transit for heavy sour crudes right now to Asia, because they can't go through the Strait of Hormuz. And so when you look at it in that context, all of a sudden it sort of increases the imperative.
The province says it's still on track to submit a pipeline application by June. Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the coalition that opposes the carbon pipeline will be hosting a series of town halls in impacted communities to organize neighbors. Canada's Justice Minister says he doesn't plan to change how judges are appointed. 4 premiers have now signed a letter asking for provinces to be more involved in the process. Since January, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith has been pushing for a say on future appointments to Alberta's Court of King's Bench, the Alberta Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Canada. Today, Smith posting a letter on the issue signed by herself, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, Ontario Premier Doug Ford, and Quebec Premier François Legault. The letter calling for provincial input on the appointments, saying, quote, "We need to act towards lasting reforms that will serve to reinforce the confidence of all Canadians in our judiciary." Federal Justice Minister Sean Fraser says there is already a way for province to have a say in the process.
We welcome provincial government's participation in that process and proactively reach out after we receive recommendations through the Judicial Advisory Committees to test with our provincial counterparts whether they've got information about the reputation of the people we're considering. I found that to be very informative. We've had a lot of positive feedback from a range of different, from every province, frankly, when it comes to the appointments that we have made.
Each province and territory has a judicial advisory committee made up of people within the legal profession and the general public. RCMP are warning about a phone scam after a 19-year-old from Airdrie was charged. Police say scammers are calling people, trying to convince them to upgrade their current device. Once the victim agrees, the transaction is done through their legitimate phone provider's online app. When the new phone arrives, the scammers call to say the incorrect device was sent and must be returned. The address given is for a fake return facility. RCMP say people should never make agreements when contacted by a company, but rather call them back on a confirmed number. Owning a home may not guarantee financial security for seniors, according to a new study from the University of Calgary. As Kevin Green reports, many older Albertans say the cost of staying in their homes is becoming harder to manage.
For decades, homeownership has been seen as a key milestone to a stable retirement, but a new survey shows for a lot of older Albertans, that's not the case.
Over 1 in 3 Albertan older adults who own their own home outright indicated that they were worried about paying for financial upkeep. And about 1 in 6 even considered selling their own homes due to their financial need.
At Unison's Kirby Centre CEO Larry Matheson says they see those pressures firsthand.
It's not uncommon for us to hear people are making decisions between buying the groceries they need and buying the medications they need.
At a seniors tax clinic just outside Matheson's door, Alberto De Maio is contemplating his finances and how much it takes to maintain the condo he owns.
I made it in order for me to be able to buy the place. But then afterwards, it's like a vehicle. If you don't do maintenance on it, the vehicle craps out very soon.
De Maio says the rising cost of everything required for home ownership forces him to cut back, and researchers say he's not alone.
What's happening here is essentially a domino effect. People are needing to pay more for food, for gas, for daily living.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation maintains property taxes are a big burden and says the upcoming boost to the province's education property tax will make it worse.
Even for people who have paid off their homes, these double-digit property tax increases are unsustainable. A lot of folks are now worried about being able to afford just the property taxes alone.
The U of C researchers say living on a fixed income while prices rise is squeezing many seniors, even those who appear financially secure on paper. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, the study's authors say policy changes, including better index supports for seniors, may be needed as housing insecurity continues to grow. Well, the cooler temperatures continue and many areas will likely see some snow over the next day or two. Jody Hughes is along next with her Skywatch forecast.
Well, if you only looked at the temperature, it wouldn't really tell you the full weather story for today, because our daytime high of 2 was reached right around midnight, and then we started to see a decline in temperature, some scattered flurries throughout the region. Looking at that precipitation over the supper hour that was starting to move throughout the southern border of BC, bringing some rain and then some snow into southeastern Alberta. The impact from that past 24 hours of precipitation, which was actually less than 24 hours, was most noticeable to the west and then also around the capital region and certainly in through the southern portion of British Columbia. Tomorrow, we're looking at a daytime high of -1, which we will hit very early, and 8 degrees in Lethbridge, 7 degrees in Medicine Hat. We have a significant amount of snow forecast for areas west of Calgary, around Edmonton, toward Prince George. All of this has prompted some weather warnings, including yellow level snowfall warnings, winter storm warnings, wind warnings, special weather statements in through BC, with Environment and Climate Change Canada suggesting perhaps travel, if you can postpone it, it might be a good idea to do that because of the impact from that combination of wind, that heavy wet snow sitting on areas where we already have an unstable base within your snowpack. And as a result, at least one area of the Rockies west of Calgary we're noticing sitting at a high rating for avalanche danger risk. The snow will come throughout the morning tomorrow and then last intermittently throughout the day in Calgary, but you'll see it heavier west of us, north of us, and then also in towards central Alberta. Temperature-wise, we're looking at values cooler in the central and northern regions than in the south, where you can see Lethbridge, for example, 8 degrees for a high and 7 in Medicine Hat, but they will also be experiencing some pretty strong wind coming from the north around the Calgary area. Around -2 for those daytime highs, -1 here, partially due to that urban heat island effect. Our total snowfall accumulation looking at around 2 to 4 centimeters, and then a few lingering flurries lasting until Thursday. Notice those daytime highs will not make it above freezing on Wednesday or Thursday. By Friday, we're back to 8.
Thank you, Jody. Coming up, galloping towards open day. We'll take you to the windy and cold preparations for the harness racing season. The Calgary Canucks return home for a pair after splitting games 1 and 2 against the Canmore Eagles. Both teams looking for the edge in the opening round of the AJHL playoffs. Grant Reed opening the scoring for the Canucks halfway through the first, but celebrating that power play marker would basically be it for Calgary. The Eagles knocking home 5 straight before the Canucks responded late. Another physical game in this one as well. Canmore taking Game 3 5-2. Game 4 goes in Calgary on Wednesday night. The 2026 Standardbred harness racing season is set to kick off. Drivers and their horses were out on the track today at Century Downs enduring the freezing wind, but they need that track in time to get ready for the opening day, April 4th. Kevin Fleming has more.
They're back inside after a number of laps around the track, and James Junquist has 3 horses he's getting ready for the start of the Standardbred harness racing season. He says racing is in his blood.
My great-grandpa, Fridolf Junquist, started racing when they first came over from Sweden a long time ago. My grandpa raced, my Uncle John raced, and my dad raced, so I'm a 4th-generation horseman.
Junquist says drivers train with a heavier 2-wheel sulky to build endurance in their horses.
The race bikes you see us in on the weekend, those are more like your NASCAR cars. So they're carbon fiber, they're light, and they're really built for speed.
Rod Hennessy has 16 horses in his barn at Century Downs. His top earner is a horse named Shark Week, whose lifetime earnings are more than $500,000.
A good horse really wants to get out there and race. They love the competition themselves. And I guess it's just like any other sport. If the athlete wants to do it, they'll do it.
Josh Murphy says harness racing and the horses bred here are part of Southern Alberta's rich equine culture.
We're breeding a lot of horses, and our horses from here, some get sold out of province and are racing on big stages at big tracks, and we have a lot of good horses here, but overall we have a really healthy horse population, and that's really kind of your important base.
Shelley Arsenault is looking after 7 horses in her barn as they all cycle through a day's training. She says every one of them has their own personality, especially Nicotime.
He's quite a character. He doesn't see, he's being a suck right now, but he doesn't like tractors. So if he sees a tractor, he'd rather have me in the middle so it gets me first.
Century Downs has a variety of activities planned for people of all ages during this year's harness racing season. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, and that's it for our show this evening. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you here tomorrow.